Surprise, we're live! I guess it's not a complete surprise. I did say that I might do this today, didn't I? Would hopefully do this today. So I am doing this today. So good afternoon, everyone. Just gonna take some time to work on the old stage since everybody's been making fun of me that I keep dropping freezes during the streams. That's not true. Most people haven't been making fun of me, but it's been mentioned a few times, and I kind of just blew it off originally because to some extent, I really don't care that much since I'm never really playing for scores. As long as things are working well enough that I'm not going to fail because because the machine wasn't working properly. You know, like a whole arrow just doesn't work at all. I've been to arcades like that. Yikes! But I mostly don't care that much. But it has been. It seems like it's been getting worse, and it's starting to bother me a little bit. So I figured I'd actually try and do something about it. But yeah. So I know. So if you can see in the overhead camera, like just shifting my weight a little, I can, yeah, especially that right arrow. You can see it's kind of like wanting to not not stay on. The left arrow's doing a little bit better. So, like, I have a good idea of something I can do here, but I was mentioning in last night's stream that when I first got this machine, what was that? 18 years ago. I did like the business card mod, so to speak, where you slide a little bit of you slide a business card. Well, like not a whole business card because it's not that the space isn't that big, but you slide it underneath the sensor, and what that does is it boosts the sensor up just a little bit so that the L bracket that sits on top of the sensor will trigger it more quickly, basically, because it doesn't have to travel quite as far to mash it down. And am I still? Yeah, I guess I am. I was like, I don't normally sit down on here, so I'm like, am I still in the frame? I had to look behind me, and I grabbed my laptop here so I can bring the chat up in on my laptop. So since I'm going to be down here more, this will be easier than trying to look at my regular monitor back there. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and obviously I don't have a game running, so I think Ristar was saying that I'm revealing the wallpaper, which is true. And we were talking about like adding music to the starting soon screen, and we talked about a whole bunch of things last night, both on the stream and in the Discord afterward. So I figured I would make a characteristic for this channel, and especially the Discord, a little DDR pun, since I changed the text to let's make it better. So I played Make It Better. Um, People are messaging me. Hello. Um, a sequel to Poppin' is Beyond Angry may happen because you're going to do it, or because or because I'm going to trigger an alarm today. I don't think I'm going to trigger an alarm today. I hope not. But anyway, I was thinking actually, I should have set this up beforehand, but I didn't. Um, I got out another. Well, so I have a second, like, real web camera. There's one attached to the ceiling, which is what does the overhead view, but then there's another. I have another just like regular web camera. Um, but I got it out and plugged it in, and it just it doesn't work. It worked the last time I used it, which was not that long ago, honestly, like maybe a month ago or something like that. But yeah, I plugged it into the computer, and it just literally did not do anything. Like, it didn't even make the sound like it was connected, so it's just dead. So I actually was scrambling around for something, and I initially grabbed the PlayStation 2 iToy because it was just sitting over there from those earlier streams when I used it. But it was recognized by Windows, but it didn't come up as a camera. It just kind of was like, okay, iToy is plugged in, now what? And I was just like, well, that's not helpful. So I grabbed the old, I don't even remember what they call this thing. This was the camera accessory that they had for the Xbox 360. I was like, well, I bet that'll work, and sure enough, it does. So I figured I'd pull it out, and we could I could have a close-up camera to use if I need it, and I'll just throw it there in the window where the game normally lives. Technically, I don't even need the cabinet to be on. I just left it on because it makes it easier for me to test this stuff, because I can see when the arrows are being triggered. But no, this is not the Kinect. I think they called it like the live camera or so. I don't remember what they called it. It was I don't even think this accessory got used very much. Let's see. It was called... It was the Live Vision camera, was what it was called. Because Xbox Live. No, this was before the Kinect. Yeah, the iToy was the PlayStation camera. PlayStation 2. But, anyhow, it was funny, too, when I got this camera out. It was, definitely, like, you know how, like, what do you call, like how plastics kind of degrade over time, especially like the like soft feel plastic. Um, so there was like a rubbery, there was like a little rubbery coating or something like that on the focus ring of this camera, and it had like just it was like breaking down into goo, so it was just like sticky and disgusting. So I had to like clean that up before I started. What is my what? Yikes. Oh, well, the camera just disconnected for no apparent reason. That's cool. It is probably a terrible camera, so I'm sorry about that, but we'll do what we can. Ugh. Alright, so first order of business. Let me get out a number 3. Wow, it's just gonna be an asshole like that, I guess. It's not nice. Ugh. Do I not have it plugged in all the way or something? So I thought it was a good idea, but maybe it's just gonna be a pain in the butt. So if that thing keeps flipping out, I'm sorry. Anyway, I was saying, I got out a number 3 Phillips head for my screwdriver. That is very important for this, because these screws that they use on the stage are number 3. Yeah, that's just obnoxious. I wonder if I'm getting some kind of weird interference or something with this thing. Let me try. This will probably make it worse, but you can try it anyway. Yeah, it's too far. Too long. The cable for this camera must be like right at the maximum length for USB or something. Okay. Anyway, I will demonstrate also with regular screwdrivers. So, we got our pretty standard run-of-the-mill number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. If you can see there, does this thing focus? I hope so. Is that a focus ring? It is. Okay. So you got your pretty standard run-of-the-mill number 2, and then you got your bigger number 3. It's the worst. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's focused really close. So you can see the number 3 is quite a bit bigger, and these screw heads are number 3. And if you use a number 2 on them, I mean, it'll work, but it's kind of loosey goosey. And if you're not careful, you'll end up stripping the heads out, and that's a bad time, because once you start doing that, it makes it a lot harder to work the screws at all, and then B, it's also they start to get sharp, and I've definitely seen people draw blood on DDR stage screws because somebody used a number 2 on them, and they got sharp, and they did a knee drop or something and accidentally landed on a screw, and psh, blood everywhere, and it's very, very disconcerting. So yeah, that camera is not going to work at all, because reasons. Well, that makes me slightly sad. Let me try one thing. One more thing I can try. Let me try and plug it into one of the back. One of the rear USB ports. Maybe the front USB ports are having a bad time. Well, that didn't even get recognized. Hello? Hello? And it looks like my main camera is kind of out of focus too. Well, that's fun. There we go. That should help a little bit. Alright, well, I guess this is just not meant to be. I don't really want to spend any more time futzing around with this camera, or I'm not going to ever get any work done. So, Ristar, what's your plan, or what's your thought on this other animation? Oh, you put a bunch of ideas in the Discord. Put Discord on the DDR machine. I mean, I could. Now, you have to remember the DDR machine is running at very low resolution, so, like, there's not going to be a ton of, you're not going to be able to see very much. In fact, interestingly, how do I get that, that, those panes are so big that the actual like chat pane isn't even like visible. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, like I can see that you posted there. Oh, what a nightmare. All right, well, I'm just gonna leave that alone for right now. There is something that I can do. Maybe. If I remember how to do this. Oh. Well, he said press the person icon next to the. Okay, that works halfway. I guess if I just like scroll the rest of the window off the edge. Demon dog. You don't know all the games I have. There's a video of it. Alright, well, I thought I could use my phone as a web camera, because I have done that before, but even that doesn't want to play nice with me right now. Well, I'm just gonna let that. I'm gonna stop caring for a minute, at least. I would love to get a closer camera going so that you can see a little bit better what I'm doing, but I'm kind of just wasting too much time now, so I'm gonna get moving. I did put a number 3 in this, didn't I? Yes, I did. That my drill makes that delicious electric motor smell. It's not delicious. It actually smells terrible, but all right, y'all. So I have a confession, and that is that it has been I can't even remember the last time I did maintenance on this machine, because the thing about DDR is, like, in an arcade it gets a lot of use, and also that environment is kind of dirty oftentimes, and so you need to do some more maintenance. But in a house, there's it. I mean, I don't use it that much, and I mean, compared to an arcade anyway. Oh, this is not good. Well, that's slightly disappointing. The one of the wires was pinched in here, and the insulation has kind of worn away from years of being stepped on, basically. I don't know how much you can see that in the overhead camera. Flash, flash. But well, I'm sure you can't see the broken wire. It's not broken, but it is definitely worn a little bit. So I'll probably put a little piece of electrical tape on that just to keep it okay. But like as you can see, I don't know how many of you have like looked in a have been able to look inside of a DDR stage. But the like this is pretty clean. There's a little bit of dust in here, like a little bit of dirt that has gotten through, but not very much. And I have definitely been in some of these where it is just an absolute like pile of dirt and just filthy. So yeah, there's a little bit of dirt kind of stuck in the edge here. I might grab my vacuum and pull that out, but for the most part, this doesn't look too bad. Anyhow. Oh! I've actually got cards under here already. Well... Well, shit. That is, that's a surprising development. I didn't remember that I had done this already. And, B, if they're already there, I probably don't want to add more. Are they under all of them? They are not under... Oh, they are. Okay, they're under that one too. They've kind of shifted, it looks like, over time, which that's not a big surprise. But what I was gonna... You know, I started to say this at the beginning of the stream, and then I... because I think I was futzing with that camera. But basically, the when I first got this machine, I remember doing this this card mod where you know, stick a little bit of... basically, you're sticking a little bit of thickness underneath the sensor. And it, I mean, oversimplification, but essentially it makes it a little bit more sensitive. But then at some point in the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 years that I owned the machine, I actually did buy a whole new set of sensors for the machine. So these are not the original sensors that were in the machine. And these were new. And my recollection was that when I replaced the sensors, I took out all of the cards because I didn't really need them because the sensors were brand new. So my plan for today was to put the cards back in, you know, to kind of make up for the aging sensors. These sensors are probably 15 years old now. But it looks like the cards are already here, so that plan is not going to be what I'm doing, apparently. I have another thing that I could do that I don't... but I'm not going to do it today. It's going to be more work uh, than I want to do right now. Uh, but there are these foam pads on top of the L brackets here, and I do have some new foam that I could put on these that would probably, again, it just takes up um, it takes up space, if you will. If you will. The whole thing is the aero panel compresses the L bracket, which in turn, compresses the sensor. And when you build up the sensor by putting something underneath it, then the space between the L bracket and the sensor is smaller, so it takes less pressure, less downward pressure on the bracket to press the sensor. And then the same thing with this pad on top of the L bracket. That changes the space between the panel, the aero panel, and the L bracket. These are the original foam pads that came with the machine. So these are from the factory, and they are, I'm sure, from years and years and years of use, not as thick as they used to be, and so that's probably why I'm having some sensitivity issues. But in order to replace these, I would have to peel all of them off, and then I have some new rubber that I can install, but it's I would have to cut all of those, and that would be a whole day project, I think. So I'm probably not going to do that today. If you would like to join the Discord, hold on. There is a link. I see you're all having fun up there. Be nice. Don't put anything terrible in there. Of course, now that I say that, you were like, oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. But please. I'm asking nicely. Please don't put anything terrible in there. So, something I can do today, though, although I'll have to think about how I want to go about this if I'm going to do it, is I can do kind of the opposite. Thank you. Thank you for taking me literally. Um, Something else you can do is put a card in between the L bracket and the sensor, like so. The problem with that, though, is there's nothing really to hold it, and it will just kind of slide out over time. So, All my L brackets are still solid, so that's good. Each of these L brackets has a has 3 screws in them, and they tend to come out. But mine all seem to be in decent shape, so that is good. Wow, you're on a DDR machine. It's true. Alright. I did say I was going to grab a piece of electrical tape, though. Ugh. Let me put it on here before this wire gets actually busted. And Konami from the factory actually put some tape on the wires to just like hold them out of the way so they don't get pinched like this. But that tape is, I mean, some of pieces of it are still here, but they're wrecked. I mean, that's 20-year-old tape at this point, so it's hardly a surprise. Yeah. I can see the wires, but they're not broken. It's just the insulation has been worn away. So I'm just going to put a piece of tape on that to kind of protect it so that it hopefully doesn't get any worse. It might be time for me to just buy new sensors again. It's, I can't ever get real excited about that because I think they're like $8 or $10 a piece, and there are, what, 32 of them? So it gets expensive. But it has been like 15 years, so maybe it's just time. I'm Hey, Kenan. I'm glad you got out of school. I'm kind of not really looking at the Discord up there, and obviously if you put it in some channel other than even more off topic, I'm definitely not going to see it. just going to try and make sure that all these wires are routed in ways that they're not going to get mushed again. At least not right away. Well, yeah, for sure. Glitched. You're talking about 15 years not being bad. They definitely would not have lasted anywhere near this long. And the thing is I'm not even sure it's the sensor's fault because I can tell, like, um, the sensors are still plenty sensitive. The problem, I think, is I think my real problem is the foam on top of the L brackets, because it's taking a significant um, amount of force on top of the L bracket to get the sensor to trigger. Um, and I think it's just because, well, let me look here. I think it's just because that foam is kind of worn out, and so um, it means you have to, like, pressure on it to get it to travel far enough to push down on the sensor. So I know a lot of people will put tape on top of these too, and I could do that, but I kind of don't want to. I know that's terrible, right? But it's just true. Um, and I know if I build up the space between the L bracket and the sensor, that would probably work too. But I don't. I'm also curious here. There's like a little, like, not quite a cut, but like a dent in this foam, like something had gotten trapped between the step between the aero panel and the foam. I don't see anything on here though, so I don't know what that would have been. Oh well. I'm gonna try this as just kind of a temporary fix, or a temporary solution to see what it does. I think this will make a difference, but like I said, my concern is that that's just going to slide around and end up either falling out or getting caught in a place where it actually makes things worse. So. Alright, let's see. It's hard to say. I may just have to do this and actually play and see what happens. I see y'all are having fun. I'm glad. Oh, come on, don't fight me. Okay, so there's cards under these too. So I must have done it I must have gotten mad and done this before. Once. I didn't really get mad. Frustrated is probably the better word. So we'll see how this does. I'm just going to slide cards under all the L brackets real quick. Because that should only take me, 10 or 15 minutes here. And then I'm going to give it a test play. See if it seems any better. And maybe in the next few days, if I get really ambitious, I'll think about replacing the little rubber pads on top of the L brackets. But like I said, that is probably going to be like an all-day project. So I'll want to start that much earlier in the day if I'm going to do that. Oh, this screw. Alright. This one wants to be a jerk. There we go. That one's actually got some gunk in it. Hold on. Ugh. Hey, SeaWorld, how you doing today? I'm going to need a stronger tool. Yeah, some dirt has gotten lodged into the screw head, and it's preventing me from getting the screwdriver in there, which means it won't properly engage, which makes it difficult to get the screw out. Looks like somebody had mud on their shoes at some point. It was not me. I actually have the shoes that you see me wear on stream to play are like my indoor shoes. I have a pair of shoes that I don't leave the house in them. I just leave them. I leave them in the house either to play DDR with or just to wear instead of slippers. The shoes I have on right now are also like designated indoor shoes, but they are they're no good for DDR though. They're too squishy. They're too squishy and they're kind of loose, so they're comfortable. They're comfortable for just like walking around in, but not so great for playing. Yeah, look at that. You can see that on the overhead camera. It's just dirt. I'm literally just picking it out of there with a smaller screwdriver. So I know I mentioned in some previous streams that I like to keep things original and I don't like to mod machines, and that is true. That is true, even when I disagree with what original is. Like, these screws, honestly, they kind of suck. I think they were a bad choice on Konami's part. Uh, to use these domed head screws because they stick up and they get caught on everything, and then to use Phillips head, which is kind of a pain in the butt anyway. Um, like what Andamiro did by using flat headed, not flat not flat head, um, like the blade, like the screwdriver blade, but flat on top instead of domed. I think was a much better choice because it makes the stage like flatter and smoother overall, and you're less likely to get, you know, the soles of your shoes or whatever caught on them. And then on top of that, they also, God, that is so dirty. On top of that, they also used the Allen, the hex screw head, and those are easier to get more torque on. They don't get stripped as easily. They don't get sharp like these Phillips head screws do. I don't know. Like I said, I think these were a poor choice. I assume this was an aesthetic choice. Like, they thought they looked nice, and I guess they kind of do. But, like, in practice, they were probably the worst thing that they could have used. But that's what they picked, so I will maintain them as Konami intended. Like I said, even if I disagree with the choice, because I know a lot of people will, you know, countersink their brackets and use like countersunk screws that then become completely flush and everything. And it, like I said, it's not that I don't understand why someone would do that. It's just I personally make the choice to keep it original. There we go. I just looked over at the chat and my computer went to sleep. Oh, hey, Llama Juice. Good to see ya. You have joined me for my lazy maintenance stream. I have so far talked about all the things I should be doing, and I'm doing none of them. And instead I'm doing easy stuff that will hopefully have some effect, but probably not as much as I would like. But oh wow, this wire's gotten pinched really bad. It is actually starting to come apart. Oof. Ugh, that's... That's cool. I should probably be replacing the where did I put those scissors? There they are. I should probably be replacing the tape that holds the wires out of the way. So, Llama Juice, are you planning any grand adventures? Now that maybe we can actually start going places again? And what I'm really asking is, are you coming back through Indiana again anytime soon? I know that's not really a grand adventure at all, but, you know, ulterior motives. Ooh. You built a control box so you can use your old pad. That's cool. Have I inspired you to play DDR again? Is that what you're telling me? Uh-oh. I just looked up at the Discord and I see y'all are talking about Dance Rush. I love me some Dance Rush. That's actually true. I do love Dance Rush. Ooh, you just bought a new house? Sweet. Very nice. You're still over on the West Coast, right? Like, basically as far away from here as you could possibly be. Yeah. Well, if you ever head back this way, definitely look me up. And hey, we can do like a collab stream or something. Hang out. And if I make it out your way, I will definitely message you as well. Gosh, I haven't been to Seattle in I don't even know how long. 30 years? A long, long time. A very long time. You'll notice I'm being super lazy and I'm only taking 2 of the 4 brackets off because you can kind of slide it out from underneath the other 2. And I see my butt is holding the down arrow. So that's always good. You haven't been to Indy since 2010? Yeah, well, I remember when you came, because you were, like, doing kind of a grand tour of the Midwest. Because, like, this was just one stop among several, if I recall. I remember you, like, posting a proposed map of, like, all the places that you were going to hit up. And was like, if I know you near here, let me know so that I can come see you. But yeah, I haven't been to Seattle since I was a kid. I think I went with my parents ages ago. It's probably been more than 30 years, honestly. But I want to go back to 1998 Konami and just be like, are you sure you want to use these screws? Because I'm sure I don't want you to use them. Oh, you're in my second video? Is that the double pump video? I actually just watched that last night for no particular reason. That's the only reason I like know right offhand what you're talking about. And yeah, I guess you were in that. So that must have been That must have been that trip when you came through. You found a... You found a time reference. And it happened to be me. That's that's funny. You know, I actually don't know that this. So, are you from the West Coast and you just came here for school, or? Or something else? Oh, that's right. You're from Wisconsin. I do remember that now. Now that you mention it. And then you went west for creative mecca, so to speak, right? So, Matthew, um, the overhead camera is let me I can show you what what it is as soon as I finish this. Okay, so yeah, out west is where all the video game jobs are. That's what I was saying. Like, it's sort of a creative mecca. Like, for what you were trying to get into, for what you've gotten into, as far as I'm aware, right? You've made it. um, Here was not the place. I'm not saying you couldn't do it here at all ever, but man, I'm sure it's a whole hell of a lot harder. Anyway, Matthew. So here's um, the camera itself is a Razer Kiyo, and the reason I mentioned that is it happens to have a like tripod mount on the bottom of it, so it has the little screw hole that you would use to attach it to a tripod. Um, does that make sense? First of all, do you know what I'm talking about? I guess I'm saying is what I'm asking. um, and I'm looking into my history real quick. I can actually show you the specific thing that I'm using to mount it. Okay, so there is an Amazon link for the specific thing. The ceiling in this room, I'm in a basement, is a drop ceiling, and so it has that metal grid that holds the tiles in place. So what I have is basically a little thing that clips onto that grid piece and provides the little screw mount. So all I have to do is just, screw the camera onto that, and it's hanging. Like, it works fantastic. And in this case, the Keo, it does have there's a base part of it that has the screw, so that's what's mounted in. But then there's a second layer that tips. Actually, there's two layers. There's one that tips up, and then there's another one that tips the other way. But basically, what I've done in this case is I have pushed the camera forward, toward the cabinet more, and then I'm using the little hinge in the camera mount, which is part of the camera itself, and I've tipped it just a little bit so that it's pointing at an angle at the stage. The reason being, if it's directly overhead, basically, my head just blocks the stage all of the time, and that's stupid. So I've put it at a little bit of an angle so that you can actually see the stage more when I'm playing. And then, but when I do some of the other games, I do have it going directly straight down. Because for a game like Poppin' Music or 2DX, for instance, that works out just fine because you tend to play those, slightly out away from your body. So going straight down at the controls, only your hands get in the way. Now, if you start to hunch over it or something, then it gets to be a little bit, it can be a little bit futzy, but it's not nearly as bad as DDR in that regard. But yeah, it's great because those little clips. Now, obviously, if you have a regular ceiling, that it's not going to help you at all. But if you have a drop ceiling, those clips were fantastic. I was so I had done all kinds of different things to do overhead cams in the past, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. And I just spent like an afternoon once kind of like searching around for different kinds of camera mounts, and I found those clips. And when they're like, you know, $5 a piece, I was like, oh, this is amazing. So I was super, super pumped about that. And they've been working out great. I originally just bought one, and I had been moving it around whenever I changed to play a different game on stream. But since they're so cheap, you know, like I said, they're like $5. I just bought like a bag full of them, and so as I've been playing different games, I just put the clip up there, and then I just leave it. And then the next time so that hopefully the next time I go to play it, it'll already, you know, be in place. Whoa! They found Derek Chauvin guilty on all charges. That's, wow. That is huge news. Nice. I'm I'm kind of amused that I'm like receiving breaking news on in Discord on my DDR machine. What a weird way to what a bizarre news feed that is. Well, that's good news. I'm glad that they man, I don't I don't even want to think about like what a mess we would have right now if that went the other way. Okay, well, ugh. Yeah, actually, let me take a picture of the camera, ugh, and I can throw it. That's my face. I don't want that. And okay, so here, let me throw it in the I'll throw it in the Discord, since we're all in the Discord already anyway. Yikers. So that's what the camera looks like stuck to the ceiling. There, you can see there's like a little flap of tape kind of hanging off the edge of it there. What that actually is when, like I was saying, there's like a little hinge in it that lets you tip it at an angle. But the camera is not really designed to be hung upside down the way that it is. So when it is hanging like that, it does actually like want to tip out a little bit just from gravity, because the hinge isn't real tight. So in cases where I do actually want to go straight down, I have to put a little piece of tape on it to just kind of hold it up flat. So that's what that tape is. But it's and then here is another picture. This is actually the mount that is sitting above Poppin' Music right now, so you can actually see like how it just clips onto the little support beam for the drop ceiling, and those clips come with a little like cap, a little rubber cap that sits over the screw threads, so that's why there's a little cap on it. Not that it should really be a problem, but I guess if you were to like bump into it or something like that, it might kind of hurt. So I put the cap on it to keep it tidy. People blowing up my phone. Hold on. So yeah, those are the camera mounts. If you if you have a drop ceiling, it is a fantastic option. I could not recommend it more. For as cheap as it is so useful. The only thing that I will the one thing I will say about it though that is a little bit goofy is so once you get the clip up there and you go to screw the camera onto the mount, when there's not really a good way to basically once the camera is screwed on all the way, it's not necessarily straight, so to speak, as far as like this direction straight, and so what I've done is I just got some little like nylon washers and just stuck a few washers in between the ceiling, basically around the little screw post, to take up space, so that way as I'm screwing it on, it stops sooner basically. And then the nylon washers have enough give that you can kind of like turn it just a little bit more, if you need to get it to be straight, level. Level is not quite the right word because we're in the wrong axis, but I think you know what I'm talking about. But basically, like the tilt. And that has worked out pretty well. And of course, if it's 180 degrees wrong, that's okay, because then you can just flip it in whatever editing software that you're using. Poppin' Music news? I mean, sure, why not? They've had, it wouldn't be the strangest theme that they've done by any means. Poppin' Music action news. All right, I'm gonna go change to my my DDR shoes real quick, and give this a test. All right, I am back. I actually had started talking, and then I realized that I had it on "Be Right Back," like an idiot. So, um, what I was saying though is I realized that Matthew, sorry, Matthew had asked a second question in addition to the camera mount about what kind of tape I was using, and the answer right now at least is I'm not using any tape because I'm not doing that kind of mod at the moment. I should be, but I'm not. Right now, I'm just sliding a folded up business card in between the L bracket and the sensor, just to kind of close that gap a little bit, and hope to. Well, what I'm trying to do is try and fix the issue that I've been having with dropping freezes. The sensors are all working just fine. Like, I'm not having any missed steps or anything like that. It's just that if I don't get my weight like directly onto a panel, I have a tendency to drop freezes. So, and goodness gracious. Um, excuse me. I had started this stream with the intent of sticking business cards underneath the sensors to kind of, boost them up a little bit and close the gap between the sensor and the L bracket. But once I got into here, I realized that apparently I already did that. So I think actually what the problem is that I'm having, it could be that the sensors are getting worn. They are probably 15 years old at this point. But I think more than that, it's that the foam on top of the L brackets is the original foam from this machine, which is now 20 plus years old, and I think it's just compressed and worn out and thinner than it used to be slash should be, and it probably needs to be replaced. And I know that's where people use all kinds of different, like weather stripping or Gorilla Tape or the 3M mounting tape and all kinds of different things in there. I don't know that I have a huge preference. I've not done any of that yet, but I'm kind of at a place where I probably should. But what I can show you is so a friend of mine sourced this for me some time ago. Oh god, that's stinky. And what this is like a, I don't know what is this material. Is this silicone or is this foam rubber? Oh, this might be neoprene. Wow, okay. But it's basically a big I never know where I am in the camera. Here, let's do this. It's basically a big sheet of like a rubber material with an adhesive backing. And so my plan at some point is to peel off all the old foam from the tops of the L brackets and replace it with this stuff. It's just that is going to be a long project, and I just didn't feel like doing it right now. So I'm taking so what I'm doing right now is the easy part, or the easy thing of just, throwing a business card in there and hoping for the best. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think that this rubber is much, much denser than the I just looked at the screen. You guys were talking about poppin' music earlier, so I almost said poppin' music, but then the DDR brackets had. But even though I think the rubber that's on the DDR brackets has broken down quite a bit, just as a result of being 20 years old. But it seems like a much softer material than that. That feels quite firm. It's like I said, I think it said it didn't. It was abbreviated on the little material sheet as neo. I assume that means neoprene. But it seems pretty dense. Alright, let's see here. Oh yeah, I have to refresh the controls. Because reasons.
It's time for the hottest party. Select mode. Free play mode. Select number of players.
So what's something that's really freeze happy?
June. Yuichi. Dancer. Pia. Bosa. Hit. Nova. Hop. Dinah. Bridget. Seiha.
Actually, let's go
Yuji.
with Yuji. What kind of crazy outfits has he got? Wow, cow print, okay. Yeah, let's do that. That's the
Select style.
most loungy, ridiculous thing.
Select music.
Whoops. There goes my content ID claim, right? Anyway, so let's see. What, let me find something that says it has a lot of freezes. So, I'll just try this.
What will come of me?
Prepare. Start stepping. Feel the vibe. This groove is almighty. Nobody moves like you.
It lied to me! Where are the freezes? Give me them. Did I read the groove radar wrong?
Select music.
No? That's significant. Well, I just find something else, I guess. Oh, this is name freeze. Can't be much freezier than this, right?
Freeze!
Get ready. Start stepping. Dance all night.
That was my fault.
You got the smooth moves. Yes. Dance all night.
So I missed a few of them in there, but those were my fault. Like, I just did it wrong. Yeah, that seems a lot better though. Now, as soon as those business cards start to kind of like shift underneath there, though, it's probably gonna get
Breaking records and
stupid
taking
again.
names.
But that's an okay quick fix at least. You said keep on moving had some freezes. Let's try that.
Select music. Keep on moving.
Get set. Let's go. This is 100% awesome. This groove is all night. You are tearing it up. Beating this groove now. You're blowing us away. You got the smooth moves. 100 combos.
Yeah, again, that was like the ones that I missed were me just missing them. So, okay. That definitely seems like an improvement.
That is excellent.
So, hey, great. All right. Well, I think let's go with that. That'll be fine for this coming stream coming up here in a oh wow just about an hour. Amazing. Man, I'm hitting it hard this week. Oh well. Part of me wants to go in there and throw just a little bit of like double-sided tape underneath those business cards just to keep them from sliding back and forth. But then the other part of me is like, Brian, you know how lazy you are. You're not going to be back in there for 15 years and it's just going to, like, the adhesive's just going to break down and become a sticky, gooey, awful mess. So maybe I won't do that. Also, that means I have to open up these panels again and do it. And what was that about me being lazy? So I guess I'm just gonna let it ride and hope for the best. I guess we'll see how it goes. Um, we'll give it a decent test here in about an hour on the next stream. So. Um, Let me just kind of wrap up what y'all said here in the chat. My description, tired of dropping freezes on stream. You thought you were saying I was dropping frames. Why are you digging in the panels if you're needing to fix PC related things? Yeah, I guess maybe it wasn't as clear as I think my description was relying on you having been in the last couple of streams, and if you weren't, then yes, without context, that maybe didn't make a lot of sense. While I'm down here on the floor, except that I'm not because I had to stand up. Give it a quick wipe down because I can see some sloppiness. Oh, and I just put my knee in that. That was smart. I'm a genius. It's kind of funny since I've been playing in these brand new shoes the last few streams. The surface of the arrow panels, it has like a little bit of like rubber on it. I think from the soles of the shoes. Well, this was this did not go how I expected it to, but I think I ended up with a reasonably successful result. So that's good. So anyway, thanks for tuning in for this. I will see you all in about an hour or so, a little more than an hour, and we'll do the extra stage stream. I was calling it bonus stream, but then Alapalooza last night was like extra stage stream, and I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely better. That's more. That's a better theme. So I stole it. But yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you there, and well, I hope to see you there. And until then, I will. Man, this is the worst outro ever. More on brand. Yes, I was. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking in my head, but I was like, is it on it? I guess it's on more on Konami's brand, not my brand though. but anyway, yeah. So hopefully I'll see some of you in the next stream, and until then, take care. Bye.